On the line right now is Lieutenant Bryan Coromato with the Utica Police Department. Bryan, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So can you describe the scene as to, a lot of people have seen the video from that was shot by WKTV yesterday afternoon at the fire on Mohawk Street. And an altercation ultimately between what we believe may be the property owner and a police officer. Could you describe what happened?
From what we know so far, is that the owner of the building showed up to the scene. His building was on fire. Highly emotional situation for him. Unfortunately, led him to cross the line into where the firefighters' operations were. He was asked to leave several times by firefighters there, including the fire marshal. His actions continued. Obviously, we can see that the fire marshal is trying to escort him out of the scene.
Yeah.
Officer is at a different post. I believe he's doing traffic control at the time. He sees what's going on. He sees them kind of engaged, so he runs over, intervenes, and ultimately end up seeing him knock the individual to the ground. That's kind of where we're at. And right now, obviously, with any response to resistance or use of force by a police officer, which was self-reported, there's an investigation that continues. So what happens now is he'll do his report. Obviously, the supervisor will get the investigation. He'll talk to the fire marshal, talk to witnesses at the scene. We'll try to obtain the full video. Obviously, there's more video to that scene that occurred afterward and prior to that. And we'll put everything together. The sergeant will come to his or her conclusion. The lieutenant will review it, and if discipline is recommended, then he'll give his recommendation on what discipline is.
Got it.
Obviously, at the same time, he could deem that the force was reasonable.
Okay.
But once that investigation is completed, it goes to our professional standards unit. They review the whole thing, and then the administration looks at it, and then a decision is made.
Let me ask, what do you say to people who, because, having you, we talk with you often, and Lieutenant Hauk as well,
Sure.
and, a lot of times the video shows only a portion of what is really going on. However, when you see the video, people are saying that was just excessive force. Well, he didn't have to push the guy down. What do you say to people when they say that? Obviously, maybe wait for the investigation. What do you say to people?
I guess it's easy to. We can all look. I mean, we all have done it. We watch a video and you come to a conclusion with knowing all the facts of the situation. On the back end of the story is that obviously the situation was ultimately calmed down. The individual was spoken to by the officer involved and a supervisor at the scene. No complaint was made regarding any actions by the fire marshal or our police officer. Yeah. And that's kind of where we stand. There was no charges filed against this individual. Things like that. Obviously, what happened beforehand. There's stuff that happened beforehand. And that's what we got to try to figure out.
And if you can talk just a little bit about the importance when you're at a scene such as this, how important it is to keep everything under control. If things begin to get hysterical and out of control, that becomes dangerous for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially a scene like this, a fire scene, and for us, it's we're just there for scene security and traffic.
Right.
So obviously, firefighters are doing their thing, and we don't know how to do their job, so it makes it a little bit even more difficult. So, to stay back from those fires are obviously dangerous. This happens more than people know that, obviously somebody's home or business is on fire. They become extremely emotional. Obviously, we react in different ways. May not be the way that we are, that we normally act. And, obviously you want to protect your property. So everything's understandable there. But it's important to just stay back and let those guys do their job. Yep.
All right. Interesting. How long does this investigation take before we know the outcome?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How long will your internal investigation take?
I don't actually have a time frame for you.
Okay.
It could be sooner than later, but it could be up to 30 days.
Okay, got it. And is there any chance that you'll release additional video that might show more of the scene?
Right now, I don't know. We have to, obviously, this happened Sunday afternoon, so we're all just kind of gathering here today to, we obviously have to contact the news crew and hopefully obtain their full video, and then any kind of video that we have from civilians at the scene, firemen, and and from police officers.
Okay.
So,
all right.
and we'll get that, and obviously we'll talk to the firemen involved, and obviously we'll talk to the individual involved
Got
also.
it. All right, Lieutenant, thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it as always.
And if anybody's out there that has video, to please contact us so that we can get that from them.
All right, Lieutenant Bryan Coromato, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and I have to tell you, earlier this morning it was said that it looked like maybe the police officer was arguing after with the fire marshal, and if you really look carefully at the video, that is not the case. It was another bystander that seemed to get into it, and that was going on between the police officer and a second bystander. It was not the fire marshal. So that video is up there. It's something KTV shot yesterday afternoon at the fire on Mohawk Street.